Alright, so that's our fifth set, 4 movements. I'm just going to talk you through a few things, just ask a couple of questions on YouTube. So, a lot of people have challenges in their shoulder joint from this type of posture, and really, you've got to correct that before you start loading it heavy. If people are pushing like this, or pulling like this, you put a lot of excess pressure on the shoulder joint. So if I've got a weight and I go like that, I tend to put a lot of pressure on that joint, and what I'm really looking for is a nice integrated pattern. So the scapula moves with the humerus. When the scapula stops like that, you get increased movement at the glenohumeral joint, but you don't get that movement with the scapula between the spine and the scapula, and the rib cage and the scapula, and that's very important for that nice even loading through the whole structure. So to improve that, you really want to decrease the amount of weight that you're lifting, and if you've really got that type of posture, it's even worth doing a 2-to-1 ratio of pull to push, so you're doing much more pull than you are push, or even just making sure that you really get that nice move pattern. Either way, whether you're doing pull or push. And some other things you can do is really use the long lie. So if you go through the breathing clip, so if you type breathing in on our YouTube channel, it will come up with a part 1 and part 2 of breathing, and that will really give you some great techniques. But just as a intro to it, just lying back on a roller, breathing with the belly, just doing this before you go to sleep each night, really help a lot to decreasing that thoracic curve that could be really fixed and locked in a kyphotic position. Just the palms up, breathing into the belly, and really feeling here expand as the diaphragm pushes down the rib cage, and expanding as well. Palms are faced up to really help those pec minors open up. Shoulders are relaxed, so you're not overusing the upper traps. Just doing that really help a lot. My other favourite is just the shoulder spine integrator, this Feldenkrais one, which is awesome. It's really like the most basic pull-push pattern you can do. And doing this before you go to sleep, or doing it before a workout, so that way you can really get that nice pattern. So the basic one, just from here, breathing in as you come back, breathing out. The important thing with this is minimal muscular effort, and that'll really help with the mobilization of the thoracic spine. Whereas if you try to do it too hard and your rib cage stays fixed, you're not going to get that opening up effect that you really need to get a nice integrated pattern. And remember, when you start mobilizing the body in this way, you're not going to be able to lift as heavy as you would normally, so you've got to build things up and let your body get used to the new pattern. Another thing you can do as well is just using the skipping rope, and this is great for turning on all the stabilizers around the joint. But again, using a mirror with this is actually good, and it's always a descended version, when you're using the mirror, so that way you get that visual feedback, so you can see what you're doing and your form's good. So from here, if you hit the spine nice and neutral down at the head bend to the side, and just doing like if you do 30 circles going in, and just work all different areas wherever it's weak. So I won't go above my head straight up because I'm not the root. But here, if you've got a weak area here, then you just work there, but you're not doing it in the wrist, you're doing it in the shoulder, tongue's on the roof of the mouth, and just work it around wherever there's a weakness, and then make sure you go the other way. And I'll do 30 circles the other way. And then from there you change arms to the other side. And that'll give you, if you're doing about half a second for each rotation, you do 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and you do 2 to 3 sets of those, but make sure you do this at the end of the day, end of your workout, because all the shoulder stabilizers will be pre-fatigued. You can do it just like 10 circles in, 10 circles out, 10 circles in, 10 circles out. It's just an activator at the beginning of the warm-up when you're training, and you don't want to overdo it, you don't want to pre-fatigue yourself. So keep loving life, stand tall, and remember, if you've got that posture, our form follows our function. So if you're sitting there all day doing this, it doesn't matter what you do in the gym. You can do all these exercises, do everything perfect, but if the majority of your time is spent like this, it's not going to work. So just be conscious. See you next time. Ciao.